Hello folks, it's Gab and Dad. I'm Dad and this is Gab. And yesterday we went to see a preview of a film called Monsters. Gabrielle, tell us what this film is about.
All right, Dad, thank you.
You're welcome, Gab.
Thank you, Dad. Monsters is about monsters, but not really. It's about 6 years ago, we were told in the beginning, some sort of satellite was collecting evidence of extraterrestrial existence, had some samples, some test tubes and whatnot, but of course crashed upon re-entry. You know, it's the same old story. And so these spores or whatever they were crash landed by the U.S.-Mexico border.
And northern Mexico, just south of the U.S.-Mexico border.
Right. So that area was cordoned off by the various government agencies.
Big swath of just south of the border. It's called, in the movie, it's called the infected zone.
Yeah, they say it's the infected zone. It's infected with this
Well, it's
alien.
never clear what it's infected with.
I'd just like to segue and point out to our loyal viewers how much Dad is interrupting me.
I'm not interrupting you.
Anyway, so, and because these spores land and then these huge monsters end up growing on Earth.
Very big.
Obviously not.
Squid-like.
They don't interact well with humans. They don't play well with humans, and so it's hostile to the humans. And yet, in a way, life has gone on as much as possible. The Mexicans are trying to just sort of deal with it. You know, you'll see clips on the news. It's almost like it's happening somewhere else. You know, the way we see clips about the Iraq War, what have you. And yet, it's also right in their backyard. And so they're trying to deal with it. That's what's happening 6 years later. We follow particular characters, a photojournalist, young male photojournalist. American, and he is sort of inexplicably somehow he has to go get his boss's daughter, who I don't know why she was there, to help her get back home. And so
from Mexico to the U.S.
Right, and so it's the two of them trying to get
through the infected zone.
Right, and that's what all there is to know about that, pretty much.
Pretty much.
Why was she there? Did you figure
It was not clear why she was there, and he was there, I think, to take photographs for the newspaper, because the girl's father's a big newspaper tycoon.
Yeah, but it's pretty irrelevant.
And she's there for some reason or other.
He just keeps pulling out his camera.
Yeah.
And she's just in the little shorts, you know, she's attractive blonde.
Yeah, I mean, one of the odd things, well, I guess it's not really odd about this film, is they're going through this, you know, horrible infected zone, traipsing up through jungle.
Small talk.
Traipsing through jungle, climbing up mountains, and God knows what. And he's in kind of, you know, cargo pants and boots and a safari jacket. And she's in this...
He's not wearing a safari jacket.
Something like that. But she has got these tiny little shorts on and a kind of a very low-cut blouse, which never appears to get dirty or bloody or soiled.
Well, she was sort of a tourist when this all started. I take it that she was sort of there for tourist purposes.
I suppose,
She was dressed casually. The fact that we are, at this point, at the beginning of the review, analyzing what they were wearing might give you a little hint as to the way this is going to go.
Let me just put this plainly.
When we left the movie, the first and only thing Dad said was, "Words fail me." I don't think they will now, but...
Well, just about. Let me just say, let me be quite clear about this. This film stinks. It's really bad. Given the choice of watching this film again or watching Transformers 2 again, I'd find it a hard choice.
Oh, okay. You're not being definitive. But
not being definitive. It would be a real toss-up. And let me say another thing. This afternoon, I watched the film Carlos, which is 5.5 hours long. By the way, it's a great film. That's for another day. But the Carlos at 5.5 hours seemed a much shorter film than Monsters at, what, an hour and a half?
Yeah, and your big test is the watch-looking test, and I noticed you looking at your watch many times starting pretty early on.
This film sucks. I mean, there's no other way of putting it.
Let's put it this way. The pace is very slow. This is not a monster flick.
It's a boring film.
Do not go to this movie hoping to see War of the Worlds, Cloverfield, sort of monster mayhem, because there's really hardly any real monster action, which is an actual term.
There's really hardly
in
any
the movie world,
action, which is an actual word.
Until practically 10 minutes before the end credits, I would say. So, I mean, You see the
There
monsters.
is no plot.
There
is no plot. In this
It's
film.
the two people, and as I said to you, I said that's not necessarily criticism.
And there's
lots
no
of stories.
acting either.
There's lots of stories about two people trying to get through or from point A to point B about a journey.
Well,
that's
like
not a problem.
Like The Road, one of the great,
Road
great,
is a
great
extreme
film.
example,
Great
a good
film.
example. But it's the other stuff. I didn't give a crap about the characters. The acting was
Please,
poor.
there's children watching this. Please watch your language.
Crap.
Children.
You said sucked. And some
well,
other
suck is better than crap.
Suck is better than crap. That's for another time, as you say. You do not feel too much, in parts, but not too much of the threat of the monsters. And I'm not criticizing that you don't see them. There's a difference between seeing them and feeling the threat of them.
That's true.
And that's fine.
Sometimes the threat is more powerful than the scene.
Oh yeah, that can be done very well, but it was not done well here.
No.
When you actually do see the monsters, part of me kind of wanted to like them, but they're basically kind of cheesy. They look like giant squids.
They're very cheesy.
Crossed with like those tripods from War of the Worlds. The Cloverfield monster has been mentioned, which is this, by the way. And they're just, and I don't know what they want. Like, I know that sounds kind of stupid, but
there's never any explanation. And another crazy
they
thing in
attack
this
people,
film.
but do they eat them?
Well, I mean,
this film,
this film makes no sense because one of the things that keeps happening in this film is they're going through the infected zone. Is that people keep putting on these gas masks, like the old World War II gas masks that you see in documentaries about, or even World War I, when they're gassing troops in the trenches.
Well, it's Mexico.
And
it's
these
low
old.
rent.
But why are they putting on these masks? There's no gas. There's no
to
explanation
be fair,
is ever given.
it's suggested that the military. You just wanted to. It was suggested that the military are gassing or chemically trying to
there was
kill.
no reason for
but
these
it
gas
doesn't
masks.
follow through. It doesn't make sense. They
And
introduce little things like
masks,
that.
very low-tech gas masks. I mean,
That's just for the visual. This film is all about, it wants to look cool. It's an indie budget, $15,000, inexperienced actors. Apparently a lot of it was ad-libbed, big surprise. And this, to me, I said to you, this feels like a film that thinks just because it's an independent film with a low budget and some improv and it's about monsters, it thinks it's more than it is. I was expecting something like a District 9, which was way too high expectations to bring to this.
We loved District 9. That was a great film.
This just, it thinks it's an allegory. It thinks
Oh,
it's
yeah,
all
allegory.
these things just for the hell of it, but it's not.
I'm sitting there in the film thinking, well, this can't just be about this because it's ridiculous. Maybe it's about the U.S.-Mexican border and all that.
I think it wanted to
Or
be.
maybe it's about after the war in Afghanistan or the Taliban. But you know what? It isn't. It's just about nothing.
It can't be something about that because it wants to be. It actually has to be.
But
Like
it's just
the pieces don't add up.
And besides, as far as I know, nobody today on the Mexican-U.S. border or in Afghanistan wears those gas masks. They just don't wear them.
But they wear the little shorts.
And the women don't wear them.
It's a good look.
For sure, they don't do that in Afghanistan.
So it's some substance. I'll give it a few points for substance. Style. None for substance.
The only thing I would say in the film's favor, and then I'm signing off,
Okay.
is some of the direction wasn't bad. There was some of the filming and the direction.
Yeah, the cinematography.
The cinematography wasn't.
There was
bad.
a little promise of some.
Just a little hint.
Of some good tone.
Just a
and
little
some
hint.
good, but.
Yeah. Okay. There it is.
So how many dads?
0 dads.
Oh come on!
No.
Not even for the shorts.
All right. For the shorts are worth 1. And the gas mask are worth a half.
No, it's a negative.
I would give it 1.5 dads. 1 for the shorts on the lead female actress, who I hope has some other career prospects, and a half for the gas mask. And one other word, Carlos, that I watched this afternoon, 5.5 hours long. That's a film. That's a film.
Quality and length, and of course, just watch District 9. I'd add that in there too. Gabs. 2 Gabs.
2?
It wasn't that it was horrific. It was just, it didn't live up to any promise.
It was boring.
Well, boring's better than horrific. No, horrific's better actually, but I'll stick with 2.
There you go.
Thanks for watching Monsters. Cannot recommend it, but do what you gotta do.
Not even a
Put on
video.
the gas mask.
Not even a video. Not even a rental. Nothing. 0. No Netflix. No nothing. No pay-per-view. Forget it. No.
Bye.